Dear beloved, dear beloved Thai, you are here with us today. Dear beloved Sangha, today is a raining day, but everything's are impermanent. My English is not is just Plum Village English, and it is not easy for me to express myself always in English, but I will try my best. And I will ask our brother Pháp Linh or Pháp Áo to share to present the panel, if it's possible. Dear Thai, merci beaucoup.
Dear respected Thai, dear beloved community, I think everybody is here. Everybody who's here is here for the 3-month Rains retreat. So actually, in principle, you know the drill, right? There's nothing to explain. I think everybody knows what to do. So there's a wonderful empty chair there waiting for you. And we invite those of you who have a question in your heart to come up and to ask your question. And we are especially interested in real questions, questions that have to do with your happiness, that have to do with your suffering, that have to do with your practice. Because we might not be very good at answering intellectual questions anyway, so best not to ask those ones. Yeah, we want to keep it very down to earth. And if possible, try to formulate your question succinctly, not too long, to leave space for others to come up and ask their questions. We may have some written questions. We may have some online questions too. I'm not sure how that will happen, but they may manifest at some point from somewhere. So I think we are very happy to be here with you. Do I have to present us? Or do they know who we are? I think it's good enough, huh? So yes, if you feel shy to come up, then you can always write down your question and pass it forward. And the mail works very well here. It will arrive, and we will have a chance to pick some written questions too. So if you already know that you have a question, you can come up. Please don't be shy. And if not, maybe we already have some online questions, I don't know. So, thank you everyone for being here. We will practice looking deeply together.
Dear respected Thai, dear beloved community, I would like to ask a question on manas, in relation to manas. And last week, Sister Ahoynem shared some beautiful teachings on manas, and that really awakened a curiosity within me to look deeply at this teaching. And she explained that manas is the operation of self. And in my perception, I had perceived manas as that part of consciousness that that creates an identity, and that that attaches and clings to something that that I want to be. I want to have something that belongs to me. I want to be a separate self, and I see that if in my own practice, I really aspire to live the experience of interbeing. That connection, that intimate connection, and interdependency with life. And so my question is, how can I practice to overcome manas, or is it possible to let go of that attachment without inviting up suffering? And it's not just, I suppose, the attachment to unwholesome seeds, or suffering that may be watered or manifest. It's also, I suppose, attachment to joy and happiness. The wholesome seeds that, if they arise within me, and then I try to create an identity out of that. How can I transform and overcome that in my practice? Thank you so much.
Dear respected Thai, dear beloved community, thank you for your question. I think this is something that we're all practicing with, and so it's also a good topic for Dharma sharing and for collective investigation. I think the way you described the action of manas is pretty good. And I think it's helpful to think of manas more as a verb than a noun. So it's an action, it's a process, not so much a thing. So maybe it's kind of like a tendency that we might notice. And then we can find ways to relax that tendency. So maybe not to think about removing it or getting rid of it or fighting it, but just relaxing it. So that tendency can operate at many different levels. So it operates at the level of our feelings. Like you mentioned, there's feelings that we like. We want them to last. We want them maybe to last forever, or we want to have more. And there's feelings that we don't like. We want them to stop, or we want them to go past very quickly and maybe never come back. But maybe it's worth investigating a little more closely, so putting it a little more under the microscope when those feelings come, and we, like an unpleasant feeling, say, in the body. I always want to ask myself, have I really met the feeling yet? Do I really even know what it is? Or am I just pushing it away before I know what it is? It's like, you know, a baby, sometimes you want the baby to eat vegetables. The baby doesn't like vegetables. So, don't like it. I don't want any of that. But it isn't necessarily bad for the baby. And our suffering can be like that. Our unpleasant feelings may be like that. So it's nice just to notice the tendency of pushing away and the tendency of pulling things towards us, or wanting to hold them, keep them. And that's all around this action of grasping or, you know, rejecting, pushing away. So we might notice that, say there's an unpleasant feeling. Something happened, somebody said something we didn't like, or, you know, somebody looked at us the wrong way, and or there isn't the kind of food we like on the serving table, or there's no food, something. And maybe there's an unpleasant feeling. Or maybe we remember something from the past, maybe something very painful. Could even be traumatic, you know. And some feeling comes up in the body. And so if we have mindfulness, if we've cultivated the seed of mindfulness, we can call on it first. Or we can notice, oh, I don't like this. I don't want to have this feeling. But then mindfulness helps us to go, yeah, but let me check. Let me check if I've really met this feeling yet. Do I really know it yet? Have I really encountered it? And then for me, what I find is very helpful is to get out of the realm of words and ideas and stories, because it might be that I'm reacting to that feeling at the level of narrative. You know, if it's he said, she said, or they did, or, you know, they don't like me, or something like that. There's often a big part of story which could lead me also to assume things too quickly. So I might assume very quickly that this feeling is sadness, or this feeling is despair. And so I put a word on it immediately, but maybe I haven't even really met it yet. And when I say meet, I mean like really sit down and have a cup of tea and say, welcome, please come in. I invite you to be here with me for a while. I would like to get to know you. I'm sorry I haven't made space to get to know you yet, because these feelings are old friends often, and they've been around for a long time. So it's kind of changing that impulse, the initial attitude, and we learn to catch that attitude of rejecting an unpleasant feeling, notice it and go, oh, maybe I can switch that reflex, and then let go of all the stories and ideas around that feeling, and try to experience it in more detail in the body. So like, where is this? Oh, yeah, I feel a tightness in my chest, or I feel heavy in my, in my intestines, or something in my throat, or, really try to discover it without even naming it, get to know it. And then even maybe after a while take away the label unpleasant, because we've already thought that it's unpleasant, but maybe we're not even sure about that. Because manas is very sure. Manas decides very quickly. I like, I don't like. So if we want to relax the operation, the process, the habit of manas, it's also about putting a question mark on that. I like, I don't like. So maybe I haven't even really tasted it yet, you know. Maybe I don't know if I like spinach or not. I should try it. And so then sometimes the feeling that at first we thought was horrible, unbearable, maybe even like life-threatening. Like if it's a very strong feeling, we feel like, I'm gonna die. You know, this is too much for me. It's overwhelming. I cannot be with this. But maybe we put a question mark on that as well and say, well, I don't know, let's see. Let's see. And so maybe we just sort of allow that feeling to be there a little bit. Kind of feel around the edge of it. So go, okay. Maybe it's not so bad. Maybe it's actually not what I thought it was. Maybe it's not fear. Maybe it's loneliness. Or maybe it's something totally different. Maybe it's just this present moment experience of life. It just becomes a sensation rather than a feeling. And then we don't feel so strongly about rejecting it or drawing it towards us. And then we can also put a question mark on, is it me and is it mine? So there's a lot in the sutras about that you've probably heard in the Sutra on the Better Way to Live Alone, and many others. But I think it's always very helpful also because we tend to say, it's my feeling, or it's my experience, or it's my life. But we can put a question mark on that. As one with pleasant feelings, it's nice also to notice that we don't have to own them to enjoy them. And in fact, the more we can release that process of grasping, we might find that the joy increases vastly. So it's kind of so learning to undo those habits of I want more and I'm going to hold it tighter and then I'm going to have it more, but actually we lose it. We lose the happiness, we lose our freedom when we grasp at things. So maybe in sitting meditation you touch a moment of real joy, real freedom. And we kind of need to retrain ourselves to allow that experience to be there and to let it go, to be continuously releasing it. Is that when you look at the trees in autumn, they're beautiful. The colors are beautiful. But you don't have to own them for them to be beautiful. You don't have to have them. They can just be there. They're not mine, they're not yours, they're not any, they're just there. And so at least that's how I approach it. It's just trying to notice the kind of the habits, the reflexes of manas, and then with a little bit of mindfulness, when I have enough mindfulness, I might catch them in time and then be able to put a question mark on them, ask myself, am I sure? Do I need to push this away? Do I need to hold this very tight? And then rather than getting rid of it or trying to stop it, just relax that grasping action. So it's very like practicing total relaxation, but it's kind of like total relaxation with our feelings or with our thoughts, with our beliefs, with our stories. Thank you.
Dear respected Thầy, dear Sangha, dear friend. I think all of us as practitioners should ask this question for ourselves. And for me, I think this is kind of the career for our whole life as a practitioner. Of course, this will change from time to time along with our practice and our being. And I would like to add some basic practices in this. For me, I will start with the mind consciousness, which is something that I understand better. In your question, there's two parts, which is attachment concerning to the negative seeds and how to cultivate joy concerning to the positive seeds. In the teaching of the Buddha, there is a way of contemplation. In Vietnamese, we call giới phân biệt quán. I don't know exactly in English, but something that we need to identify clearly what is in our mind in that moment to practice, contemplate on. Yeah. So it's like Thầy normally share that we call the real name of what is there in our mind. And in my practice, I would like to invest my energy in the mind consciousness and in the first five consciousnesses, which is the eyes consciousness, the ear consciousness, etc. And our practice are really concerned to the trainings, our own trainings of guarding the six senses. Yeah. And in this, the mind consciousness function as a gardener. And we have seeds, we have all kinds of conditions to garden, our garden. If we are a diligent gardener, we would know and we would distinguish what is manure, what is good seeds, what is not so good seeds, what is the right season to sow the seeds, and all kinds of these things, which is we learn to understand ourselves more, and we take the practice, we take action, and the practice individually and collectively. And I see we are very lucky because we do all of these things with our Sangha. We go to sitting like Brother Pháp Linh share. We have all kind of this activity, which is we are gardening our garden, so that the quality of the garden getting better day by day. And also, along with this practice, we need to really have faith in our store consciousness. For example, I usually give this example and to teach myself and also to teach my sisters. Like for example, we sow a seed of something, of a tree or a plant, and because of our curiosity, after 2 days we go to the garden and dig it up and to look whether it sprouts or not. Okay, not sprout yet, put it back, put the soil up, and then 3 more days we do it again. So guess what's happened? It's very difficult, or it's the seed cannot sprout and it cannot become a plant. And the same like that for us, when we would like to transform something, we really like take the practice as individually and collectively, and sow the seed in such a way that we have enough faith in our store consciousness, so that the earth have enough conditions with the rain, the sunshine, the manure, and also weeding, so that when the time is right, the seeds will sprout and become a plant. And I observe it in myself a lot, and I act in that way many times, that I, with my curiosity or my rush. Like kind of, I'm not patient enough to just go to the garden and dig up. And I do not believe in myself, something. Do not believe in the capacity of transforming of the Sangha, for example. And that energy, that habit energy keep coming, keep manifesting in ourselves, and it's bring us difficulty or suffering. It's like that. So I come back to the how to transform manas, and for me, I will start with the mind consciousness, and also with the first 5 senses, because actually they are just one, you know. Either the first 5 sense consciousnesses, or the mind consciousness, or the manas, or store consciousness, they are interbeing. They are one. If we are able to practice with the first 5 senses, because the eyes, we can touch it. We can I can manage and practice mindfulness of my eyes. I can practice to manage stop my negative thinking. That is my consciousness. And I would like to start with whatever I can feel, I can touch, I can know very clearly. So, good luck.
Dear brothers, dear sisters, dear community, I have someone very dear to me who is suffering from severe depression already for many years. And I would like to know how I can best be there for this person. I have been often afraid that this person would commit suicide, and I just want to know that I am doing what I can, and I also would like to know what is it that I cannot do. So I would just like to know, this person is still in my life. I'm very fortunate. And I would like to know, yes, what is the best way to support her? Thank you so much.
Dear respected dear Sangha, I just try to summarize the question. So our friend shared that there's someone in her life who has been suffering from depression for many years, and with a risk of suicide, perhaps. And our friend was asking, what can she do to be there for her? How can she be there for her friend? But also, how to understand what can she not do? What is the limit of how you can be there for her, of how you can help, or what you can offer? Is that okay? C'était clair?
But here we don't listen. Huh? Life is so precious. Sometimes we lose this feeling. We are caught in the suffering because something happened in our life, and we don't see the beauty anymore of the life, and we don't see also the meaning of the life. Why I am still here? Why I have to continue to live? And we can, if we look like this, we can fall in despair and depression. Is it the case for your friend? I will share with you my way. I have said the only answer is love. It touched me because I have a mom. Now we feel depressed every morning. And she is very deeply unwell every morning. Is why I feel touched. Everything's appear about cause and condition. Together with the friend, you can see which condition are bringing up this kind of feeling in your friend. And what is a condition to continue to maintain this deep feeling of despair. And remember that when all conditions are together, it's happier. But even one condition is not here, this kind of feeling will not happier. You can help this friend looking deeply into the cause and condition we have bring this kind of feeling. And also how we, every day, every minute sometime, we feed this kind of feeling. Buddha was very clear. Nothing can survive without food. Without food, it will stop. For myself, I was one time a part in this kind of process also. I have lost confidence in the life, and I came here and I was supported by the Sangha. And a big part of the practice was to look deeply into how I bring it up regularly. What water this kind of seed? Is it something I have seen? Is it something I have smelled? Something I have heard? Something I have tasted? Something I have touched? Or something I have think about? The door, the 6 doors of from inside to outside, and we are filled. And to protect ourselves with a very careful way of acting, to protect for her, to protect ourselves by feeding this listening, the things sad, for example, at the TV, or sad music, or the listening some people who were in the same path and don't have the good practice to look deeply into it and to let go. The seed of all seeds are also coming from our lineage, from our family. We have to look deeply to what happened in our family. Did the family have this kind of seeds also? If someone have a depression in the family, and look how it was transmitted. Everything's in each of our cells. It's why, by looking deeply, we can also understand. And because we know the way, we are the one who can break the chain from generation to generation, up but also down. For the future generation, we have this capacity because we know the way to stop the suffering. The 4 diligence is something you can share with her. When the suffering is here, we take care of the suffering, like Pháp Linh and Sister T.K. already offer you the practice. When it's appear, just understanding and love can calm down. Never push it back, never neglect it, deny. Just know what happened with care and love. This is my suffering. I have to care of it. It's a part of us, like manas is a part of us. With love we can transform also manas. Understanding and love. We know that this suffering will, if we care correctly of it, will go down slowly into our alaya and will sleep. If we take care of it, it will become a little seed, less and less big. More we keep in our mind, more it's become big. And taking care of it, it will go down and sleep. We know that in our alaya, in our deep consciousness, many seeds, we know, mental formation. 99, 51 mental formation. But our practice in the diligence is, I know that this is in me. But if I invite, not like Taifap Lin have said, Taifap Lin is wise, when is the right time, enough energy, strength, we can invite. But I shared about the habit of playing with it. We don't touch it. The second diligence, we don't touch it. When we are strong enough, we do like Taifap Lin offer to us as a practice. But we have the habit. When we don't have anything to do or we are worried for something, we just do like the child, when they fall down. They do like this and the blood come up again. The third one of diligence, when the happiness is here, because even we are very deeply sad, many things can offer happiness inside. We keep it. Mindfulness of being very happy in our mind. And we keep it. We care of it. We keep long as we can. In that case, the seed of happiness inside the consciousness, deep consciousness, will grow. And it's like to offer a menu to a rosier, roses, to have a beautiful flower. And the fourth one, we know in our alaya, in our deep consciousness, we have the happiness sleeping here. Good memory, we have a lot. Even we forget it, but we have a lot. And when the suffering, we can try to calm the suffering. I have said also, please change a CD. And we can ask our alaya to send a good message. Happiness is still here also, to balance, to offer to us the relaxing the body, to be happy again. Even still some tears in the eyes, we can bring up the happiness. With care, with love, with gentleness. We need a lot of patience to go outside to this feeling. A lot of compassion. It's like a sister, Tike, I said Tike is why. Our sister have said before about the seed. She planted the seed and she covered with earth. But after a few days, she come and open. Wonderful. Nothing yet. And she cover. And she do like this. Sometimes the root of being strong enough came up. But it's still fragile. It's okay if you see that it go down also again. It's okay. We have to be very patient. And to remember the first noble truths of the Buddha. Real well-being is on our life. Non, comment on dit non, c'est pas well-being. Attends, c'est le contraire. La souffrance est sur cette... J'ai de la souffrance maintenant. I suffer now. And looking deeply, I know the way to bring the suffering, how I cultivate the suffering. I see that if I take care correctly of this, the suffering stops. And I feel something totally different, well-being. And now I know the way for being better. And you can teach like this. And the last things I want to share with you. Practice touching the earth. Opening the cell. I don't want to share about this too long. Open the cells touch the earth on the front of the Buddha, teach to her to do it. And let the Mother Earth to receive, to drink the suffering. She will not refuse. But before to stand up, take time to see the beauty the world will give with this suffering, like flowers, fruits, delicious fruit, and so on. If you can practice with her, she will transform. Merci, sir.
Dear brothers, dear sisters, dear community. My question is about, I have a tendency to get caught in my dreams. And in the past, it has caused my body to paralyze often. For my dreams would tell me all that I would already know, but ever so vivid and expressive. So in the morning, I wake up with a lot of fogginess, and out of habit, many times I would not be able to get out of this fog, and it would kind of haunt me all day long. So my question is, how can I remember myself in the morning? Do you have a way? Thank you.
Can I check if we understood the question? So what I understood was that you have often dreams which are very vivid, and when you wake up in the morning, the impression of those dreams is still quite strong, and sometimes it can stay with you throughout the day, or in the morning. It's like a fog. And so you're asking, how can you release the impressions from the night and be fully present for the new day? Something like that? Okay, thank you.
Dear Thầy, dear brother and sister, I you can understand my English. Like Shiko Giác Nghiêm said that we not fully native speaking, but I will try my best in order to express, in order for you to understand. Sometimes in our daily life, we may like get in touch with something, then it can be revealed in our dream, and I think first of all is we have to look by the way we consume the like what we have been consumed in our daily life, what's the environment or what thought we have been thinking in our daily, and then somehow when we even though we don't have any intention, but it penetrate to our store consciousness, and when you calm down, or even sometimes it can be come up in your meditation, and I think first of all we have to look what we have been consumed in our daily life, and is that help in order to nourish our body and mind. And sometimes I also have weird dream too, and then in the morning it's made me think a lot, and 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 I also have to look deeply that what I have been reading, what I have been observing in my daily, and somehow it helped me to realize that, oh, maybe today I read some new, or I read some I watch some clip, and it's made me think about it, and somehow it revealed in my like in my sleeping, and it made me not feel comfortable, and also my sleeping is also not so not I mean I cannot sleep so well with it. And for my practice, I always see that I still have many good condition around. Like I have many good brother or sister in order to talk and share in my daily life, and I don't have to go to internet to read new or fulfill my emotion by watching movie or so on. And yeah, and it helped me a lot in my and even like when even though I'm working a lot with financial work with internet, but yeah, it's kind of awareness it has been built in my mind that I don't have to do it, and it's somehow it liberate my mind, so I don't I don't find the way in order to fulfill myself by the way of consuming thing, consuming, I mean, entertainment and yeah, somehow sometimes I also meditate in order to like scan through my body and mind, that I see that I still have many good conditions in order to live in the good environment, especially with many beautiful person around. I mean, gentle and kind. And yeah, it's even though we are human being, we need love and care. But yeah, but somehow when we look through that, we see that, oh, uh, because sometimes in my dream that I see like something like somebody chasing me, or I cannot somehow it made me scared, and then I cannot move. And yeah, and yeah, it's a opportunity for me to look that, oh, I'm still alive after my my sleep. And yeah, it's just that thought that it already made me happy, and then I can I can let go that, oh, I don't have to worry about that dream anymore. So um, and also I practice in order to letting go. It's the somehow in my like area. So like I don't have many things in order to worry about that. The way I arrange my room is it's very free. I have a lot of space in order to enjoy my room with not many things around. I don't have to avoid this or that, and yeah, and even my study and working, I also have to separate it. Otherwise, if I'm sitting on the table, then with the computer in front of me, I will start to work. So I cannot learn or study anything. So for me, it sometimes the dream is also is kind of koan for me to look deeply that why I have that dream in my mind, and do I have to uh, cause in that dream and make me feel more tired, or make me feel more interrupt, or yeah, something like that. mm. Yeah, but the important thing that in our practice, so every day when we wake up, we have a gatha in order to recite. That is kind of reminder in order to see that we still have many beautiful things in front of us in order to do. So I don't have to worry about the past, or I don't have to think about the future. Just aware that we still alive in that moment. We still have many good conditions around. We still have chance in order to practicing together. So it's somehow it helped me a lot in my daily activity, and also I also have an opportunity to play and hanging around with some like a good person. So it's kind of helping me less thinking or less consuming the unwholesome seed. Yeah. I think that's what I practice in my daily life, and I hope it's clear for you.
Dear brothers and panelists, no, can you hear? Dear panelists, we have some questions from our online audience. Will you be able to answer one or two of them?
Dear Thai, dear Sangha, dear respected panel, my question is short. I would like to know if it's possible to do beginning anew if trust has been damaged in a relationship.
So, dear respected Thai, dear brother and sister, dear friend, I think everything is possible to do it, but you are willing to do it or not. I think somehow the ego can block our communication, but I think as a man, so we may put down our ego in order to come to the one we love, in order to express our shortcoming or our mistakes, in order to do beginning anew with that person. And I know that somehow that person still need is also need love and care, and everybody has our own ego in order to like it's kind of defend ourselves. But if we are able to let go, to practice humble in order to come and to express our love and gratitude to the one we love, it will be possible in order to change the situation. And we have to do it with our wholeheartedly. Not that, oh, we want to share by the way for that person to forgive us, but we share by the way they can feel that, oh, we still have love and care towards that person, in order to want to reconcile with that person. Somehow that person can, by the way we share, I think they can feel that we are truly want to be to practice in order to reconnect our communication, to practice in to be I mean, we are able to put down our ego in order to share and to express our love and care for that person. And also, like it also depend on the situation of that moment. Sometimes we can inviting that person to go out to the nature or take a walk together, and like just be there for that person. So we like from beginning, so we don't have to say anything. We just like want to invite that person to take a walk or to have some tea together, for example, and it's also important that the way we share and the way we listen to that person, we don't show out any irritate or disagreement with that person. If we want to practice in order to begin anew, to reconcile or something like that, so we have to do it without any irritate or any uncomfortable feeling. You know, we have to do it with the like Thầy always remind us that we have to practice loving speak and deep listening, and the way we share is and also the way we do is more important than the word we speak. You know, sometimes we have to choose the word in order to express, but somehow the way or the way we share is also contain the thing we like contain the thing we want express and the thing we want to share to that person. But I think it's possible to do it, but are you able to do it or not? That's it.
So thank you. Thank you, Pháp Áo. I think it's very beautiful already what Pháp Áo shared. And maybe I just continue a little bit. I think trust is such a precious thing. And we don't really know how precious it is until we've lost it. And whether it's we who have done something that has made another person lose trust in us, or whether they have done something that we feel has broken trust. I think there's a way to see the situation as an opportunity to learn about the preciousness of trust. So if it's somebody else who has broken trust with us, I think we need somehow to find a wider view. Because maybe in that situation we no longer feel safe. We might feel like it's not safe even to sit down and try to begin anew because, maybe I'll just get hurt again. Or maybe the other person doesn't feel safe anymore with us. So we have to somehow zoom out to the point where we can recreate that possibility of safety, but also of vulnerability, because there cannot be any true beginning anew unless we reveal ourselves, unless we put down our armor. We have to take off our armor. And that can be very hard if we feel that trust has been broken. We want to put on more armor. We don't want to take it off. We feel vulnerable, and it seems like madness to make ourselves more vulnerable. So I think there's a number of things we can do. We can ask ourselves, what is our true security? In order to feel safe and to feel strong, we have to find a different kind of strength. Take refuge in something bigger, something more vast. And maybe something that connects us as well. Because really we're not separate. And if we can connect with our deep aspiration to touch that insight of not separateness, if we can touch our our deep aspiration to contribute to peace on earth, real peace on earth, then we know that no matter what, we have to find a way to reconnect, to reconcile, to reestablish trust, because that trust is part of peace on earth. It's a crucial foundation stone. And it may be our duty, our responsibility to take care of that, to reestablish that. We give ourselves the opportunity to learn from our mistakes, but we also have to be generous and give the other person an opportunity to learn from their mistakes. Of course, there's always something in us that wants to cut the relationship if we don't feel safe. That says, that's it, it's too much for me, I can't take it anymore, I don't feel, it's gone too far, so why should I? There's that part, and we need to acknowledge that as well, and embrace that part of us which feels unsafe. And then maybe, maybe we need to prepare ourselves well by finding that bigger place of refuge. Like the practice of touching the earth that Sister Giác Nghiêm mentioned is a very, very, very powerful way to do that. We go into the situation of beginning anew as more than just ourselves. We may need the support of our ancestors. We may need the support of our teachers, our friends, and Mother Earth. And when our heart is as vast as Mother Earth, then it's not so easy to get hurt. Because we have to be realistic as well. We have to know when it's too much. We don't make ourselves a victim of the situation, but we find our strength not in putting on more armor or avoiding vulnerability, but our strength is in our compassion. That's the measure. As long as we can touch our compassion for the other person and maintain that awareness of compassion as we're sitting there with them, then we know it's safe to continue. And the moment we feel we're no longer seeing them from a place of compassion, we have to stop and say, maybe we try again later. We can also have a friend. We can ask for support. Because sometimes between two people it's too difficult. There's too much history. Too many habits on both sides. We know exactly how to push each other's buttons. Especially the people we love the most. So we can ask someone to sit with us. And we take refuge in them to guide the process and to let us know, when we make a mistake. Because beginning anew is kind of tricky. We can often think that we're beginning anew, but actually we're just, we may think we're watering a flower, but actually we're sticking in a knife, and twisting it. It's very tricky. So sometimes we need somebody to help us to notice, maybe, maybe we need to find another kind of flower to water. And I think we've probably all experienced that, the flowers that somehow have something else in them too. They're not just flowers, they have a few thorns. It's like, I really appreciate this about you, but, yeah. Or, I mean, there's always great examples. It's like, I really appreciate, you used to be so angry. Is that a flower? You've transformed so much. It's not completely clear. So we need to be very careful. We need to maintain the right balance of watering flowers and expressing hurt. And sometimes if it's too intense, we need somebody to help us to establish that balance. There's preparation, what we do before, finding a deeper refuge, opening our heart wide so we kind of zoom out to the perspective of planet Earth. Maybe we can zoom out in time as well and see. It would be too sad, not to reconcile. It would be too sad if we die and this is still like this. This relationship is cut. I think it's easy to touch that. When we zoom out, we know. That's what happens. Sometimes it's people wait until they're on their deathbed. But as practitioners, we don't have to do that. We can use meditation to look from that perspective already and to know what is important to us. And I think already the fact that you're asking the question, it shows that you have that aspiration to reconnect. It's clear. It's really clear. So we establish our true security, our true strength. And then maybe we can do some touching the earth to really get in touch with that. And then we may ask for a friend. And maybe the first time we do the practice, there's no response. You just listen. Sometimes listening is required first. So maybe you have to have several sessions. Say, okay, the first time, I just want to listen. I want to listen to you. I feel like I haven't understood you enough. Please help me to understand. And we create the conditions for that person to share, and then maybe the next time we ask to be heard, we ask for listening, and we can share. And then maybe one more time. But it's, I have confidence in this practice. So I know I have hurt people, I have broken trust, and with this practice I have been able to restore that trust. And in a way I may be restoring that trust with the whole of the rest of my life. But I'm grateful to have been given the opportunity to do that. And so, yeah, maybe that's, we can find the generosity to give that person the chance to learn from their mistake. And that's a big gift that we can offer.
Dear Thai, dear Sangha, dear panelists, we have some beautiful questions from our online friends. We were wondering if you have time to take one or two of them. Is that yes or no? Okay, so we will read the question after a sound of the bell. Okay, so this is a combined question about Sangha building from three friends. The first one is from Simona. Dear Thai, dear Sangha, I would like to better understand the practice of offering service to a local Sangha. One part of me senses this as fundamental, yet another part shows me the difficulties. I feel a lot of resistance that goes beyond the practical difficulties which are also there. I would like help to understand and overcome this resistance. Does it make sense today with virtual sanghas to nurture and create a local sangha? Okay. The second question is, sometimes when I come to practice in my local sangha, I meet some people and I feel that I don't like them, even when they don't do anything unlovable. How shall I practice and overcome this? And the third question is, I am a teacher and now I am teaching traditional Plum Village meditation and mindfulness practices to my friends in Vietnam. In the process of studying and practicing together, I realized that there are some problems. When I build such a sangha, there are some people who haven't practiced hard. Some people hide from the practice. Some people practice hard but do not have much transformation. Some people have transformed. What should I do to contribute and build such a sangha? I still practice every day to be patient and loving to my friends. Please give me support and suggestions. Thank you.
Okay, that was definitely not one question. So, the three questions. First is about service, offering service to the sangha. Does that mean like offering to facilitate, or something else? I'm not sure.
I think it's about contributing to sangha building, so facilitating and but they have some resistance to the practical difficulties that they see, and they would like to have some advice on how to overcome resistance to sangha building.
We don't know anything about that. So, encountering resistance to the obstacles of sangha building, how to overcome. And in these days of having online sanghas, do we still need to build a local sangha? So there were actually 4 questions, right? That was 1B. Okay, and then question 2 was, I forgot already. Oh, that was question 3, I think. Yes. Yes. Okay. So how do we practice with our dislike sometimes that comes up with people, even though they didn't do anything bad? Maybe we have just a reaction. How do we overcome that? And then the third one is building a traditional Plum Village Sangha, which is kind of cool. I never heard that before. Some people practice hard, some people don't. Some people practice hard and don't transform. Some people do. How do we build a sangha with those people? It's a very good question. I would like to know.
Dear Thai, dear beloved Sangha, lay friend in such difficulty building a Sangha. We laugh because we know so well your difficulty. And when we smile, is not to se moquer? Is not to make fun. Huh? It's just because we know very well, because we have encountered sometimes the same difficulty. Listen, they are laughing because they recognize themselves too. We are human beings. And this is the most beautiful things we have. In our Vinaya, one of the precepts is when something happens difficult, never leave your Sangha. I remember also something. I will give the voice to my young brothers and sisters after. I remember that I have said the Sangha are like comment on dit, pour manger les chopstick, who already are used, not clean at all, and play with soap and hot water, and two hands are making them more soft, and more beautiful, and more clean. We cannot escape this kind of difficulty in the Sangha. And this is the most beautiful things we can encounter to train ourselves to become someone accepting, someone who can understand and love, because this is the base of the Dharma, and understanding and compassion is the definition of the Dharma. And to practice like this. Everything will be transformed because of impermanence. Sometimes we do our best, but we don't progress. Everyone. Sometimes we make a big step and we are so happy. But sometimes we make a step back and we don't know why. This is it. It's our practice. And slowly, slowly, we transform and we become more and more adapted to the practice, and we adapt the practice to us. And the last things I want to tell you is the most beautiful story of my of being close to Thai for many years. I came one evening to help to clean the kitchen and sweep the hermitage of Thai with two other sisters who offer massage to Thai, probably spooning massage. And I came close to the sink, the place where we clean the dishes. And suddenly I cannot move anymore. I have seen under the bowl, simple life Thai. A bowl of light, a cup of water, exactly like this one, small one, filled up with hot water, and inside a spoon full of sticky rice. And for me, no meaning of this, because in our family, when we have such things, except for the casserole, pots, who are very, very burned, except for this, we use one another spoon to take out simply. And it's very quick. And after we... But why I have left this spoonful of sticky rice in the hot water? What is the meaning? It was a count for me. And after 5 minutes, I don't do anything. And this night I don't clean anything. Huh? Because I have to go through to understand. And suddenly I was in touch with the love, understanding, compassion of our Master. And I cried so much. The tears was flowing. I understand the teaching of Thai by this way. We are like all of us. The one special, very bright, even the other one. We are exactly like the same. A spoon full of sticky rice. And the best is to put them in the warm water and wait gently for the sticky rice to be filled up of hot water and let go, letting go of comparison and so on and so on. This is the best teaching I receive from Thai directly. And when Thai go down from his spooning, he put his hand on my shoulder and he said, "You will become a Dharmacharya." Because the teaching was already given. Love is the only answer.
Dear Thai, dear Sangha, actually when I took the microphone, what I would like to say at the beginning is exactly like Sister Giác Nghiêm shared, that we would like to share this feeling with you. Because in here in Plum Village, we also do the same thing. And in each Sangha, we also encounter quite the same issues. So I don't have any more special idea or a special thing to share. I just go back. I would like to invite you to go back to the basic practice of each individual person in the Sangha and also collective. Like when we encounter a difficult situation that in which we feel very, very difficult to begin anew with each other, each of us should come back to ourselves and practice that inside of us, like beginning anew within ourselves. And I have been practicing this along with Thai's teaching. There's one small part of Thai's teaching, which is when there's difficult, like kind of unresolved situation, which is we feel that we cannot begin anew with each other, then each of us can practice that with ourselves first. And it's the same for any other problem happening in the Sangha. That, like for example, there's something happened in our Sangha recently, and I felt some uncomfortable feeling in me in 1 week now, and I really embrace it. I feel the energy inside that, okay, I would like to come to this person to share, or come to that person to share for more understanding, for more clear in the situation, etc. But finally I see the main thing is in here. So I just practice to come back to myself to see. And for me, mostly in all the situation, our capacity of resolve things is really depend on ourselves, really depend on our stability and clarity and understanding about the situation and about ourselves first. Because we have the tendency to resolve things outside of us. And it's happened quite a lot in the Sangha, in the community, that we want to look into that person, why she's practiced so hard, but there's very little transformation. Why is that? But do we ask ourselves question, where are we on this path? And that is, I often ask myself where I am now on my path, which kind of mentality I have in right now. Before we would like to turn this light into outside. There is moon in this time, half moon. And last night, when I turn off the light in my room, I can see the moonlight outside a little bit, because there was cloudy. So sometimes we, because we turn on the light toward that person, then we see the other person very clearly. But we do not turn the light back to ourselves. And we think it's okay. I'm okay in this Sangha, I'm okay in this group, but actually there's something not so okay, then it creates uncomfortable feelings or difficulty, and it's pile up from time to time. So I just repeat again whatever my elder sister have shared. The answer is love, and also the commitment. Yeah, we do not give up, and one of the practice that we would like to do with each other as a practitioner, as a Sangha builder, is to restart over again. Restart over again and do not give up. By many ways of practicing, we can restart our own practice to have the new eyes, and also to inspire others to restart their practice. And so far, until I see we can, if we are able to nourish, to continue our interest in our own practice, then the career of building the Sangha is like continued, to be continued, and to bring the aspiration and joy to ourselves and the Sangha. Yeah. Thank you so much, our friends, being up to the sky, or being somewhere online. Thank you so much for your enthusiasm and your interest in the practice, and continue with Plum Village Sangha.
Dear respected Thai, dear beloved community, please forgive me. I just asked permission to add one little thing. There was question 1B that we didn't answer, I think, which was, do we still need to build in-person Sangha? And for me, the answer is yes. Simple. We definitely need human presence. And I think we are incredibly lucky here in Plum Village that we get to create our own special quarantine bubble so that we can still be together physically. But I know that in the world in general, wherever people are not able to meet physically so easily, there's a big need for just normal human interaction and connection, and being physically together. The technology is wonderful, and we're so grateful that we can use the technology to connect with each other, but it's never a total replacement for, you know, being able to look directly in somebody's eyes and just share the same space, to share a meal together, to breathe the same air. It's very important. So we have to keep finding ways to do both. And I think that's something we're looking into as a Sangha as well here, to see that maybe in the future all of our retreats may become hybrid retreats. So maybe we do everything we can to open and to find ways to receive people safely here, physically, but we can combine. So even if an in-person retreat can also be available online. It's like today, we're all here. I don't know how many people, 300 people maybe, practicing together. But it's also online for our friends who can't be here physically. And I have a feeling that in the future, all of our retreats may be like that. Yes. And then the final thing is maybe there's people who are drawn to the practice that we don't feel we have an affinity with, that we feel maybe even we dislike them strongly. They're very different from us. They have different taste, different preference, different way of being, different things that they're interested in. And at first I had that reaction as well. I thought, what is this person doing here? Like, you know, I thought being a practitioner meant that you're a person like this, you know, so I thought basically it meant you have to be like me. You have to share my values, you have to share the things I care about, you have to share my political preference, and so on and so forth. But now I see it completely the other way around. I think we have to see, like, thank goodness the Dharma has the capacity to attract people who are completely different from us and that we would not otherwise be with. Because if, we mentioned before, our mission maybe is to, you know, build peace on earth, to build a more beautiful society, then there's no way to do that unless we can do it, all of us, all together. It would be a tragedy if the Dharma or if our Sanghas could only attract people that we like, or people like us, because that might be just a small number of people. It certainly wouldn't be everybody. And then we'd have guaranteed failure, right? There's no way to build peace on earth if we can't do it with everyone. So we should be very grateful that the Dharma and Thay's teaching has the capacity to attract people who are completely different from us, people we react to. It's amazing. It's wonderful. We get to be with them, learn from them. They get to learn from us. We get to overcome those initial dislikes. And that's the treasure of Sangha practice. It might take some time. We have to notice our reaction again and again. Like, oh, why did he do it like that? Why did he say that like that? Why does he look at me like that? Why does she drink her tea like that? I can't believe that she does it like that. That's just, you can't do it like that. You know, we have all these crazy reactions, but then we have an opportunity to notice, wow, I watch myself reacting, and then I can learn. I can learn maybe something about my ancestors. I can learn something about my habits. And I can slowly let those things go and grow, and our hearts get to grow and embrace more. So we should be very grateful that there's people in the Sangha we can't get along with. This is a good condition for our practice.